Futures Radio Show, sponsored by CME Group, the world's leading and most diverse futures and options exchange. CME Group's markets help individuals and businesses around the world effectively manage risk. For access to free educational tools and resources for the active individual trader, please visit activetrader.cmegroup.com.
Every day, traders and investors dive in to tackle the ever-changing markets to find opportunity. Futures Radio Show is your number one source for answers to the questions that all market participants want to ask. Veteran futures trader Anthony Crudele sits down with the most influential leaders and top traders in the industry. Now, here's your host, Anthony Crudele.
Hey everybody, thanks for tuning in for this episode with Hazem Dawani. Remember, new shows are posted on Mondays and Thursdays. You can subscribe to the show on iTunes and YouTube. If you're enjoying the show, please leave a review on iTunes. Before I play today's interview for you, I want to give a shout out to the great sponsors of Futures Radio Show: CME Group, Trading Technologies, FTSE Russell, RJO Futures, and Top Step Trader. To learn more about these sponsors and the important things they are doing for futures traders, be sure to click on their logos on our website. Today I spoke with the CEO of Predata, Hazem Dawani. Predata is a very interesting company. Their platform uses anonymized online metadata and machine learning to predict geopolitical, security, and market-moving events. Hazem shares with us some insight on how their platform helps traders get the data before the data. We talked about how traders are using this technology in their strategies and how Predata's metadata approach detects the under-the-radar activity, revealing the true risks that concern investors before they materialize. Last but not least, Hazem shares with us some recent signals for stock market crashes. So without further ado, let me take you right to the interview with Hazem. Hazem, explain to everybody what Predata does.
Predata is a predictive analytics company that is focused on geopolitical and economic risks. Predata surfaces unvoiced online attention that is hidden in web traffic. And we do that by applying AI and machine learning on large amounts of web traffic to provide early warnings related to the global risks.
So it's the data before the data, right?
It is. That's why we're called Predata. We are able to analyze very large amounts of web traffic to surface online attention and online research that serves as a great leading indicator for major economic and geopolitical events. What we do at Predata essentially is surfacing the predictive behavior online and presenting that to our customers in easy to understand indices and signals, providing them with early warning, as well as a way to measure the levels of online attention and research.
Yeah, I signed up a while ago for your weekly forwards. I think they're really great, and I recommend all traders go out there and take a look at them. They're free. And give us some examples of some things that you're reporting to your clients, even some things that you guys put in your weekly forwards to explain why traders are using Predata and how they are getting an edge in their trading from using this product.
Yeah, traders, whether they're fundamental discretionary traders or systematic ones, are able to integrate the Predata signals into their trading models. In the fundamental trader use case, Predata helps to provide them with an early warning of some risk happening that could affect their portfolio. It also serves as a great way to confirm or falsify trading hypothesis and help inform them and add an additional input into their decision-making process. In the systematic traders use case, they're able to integrate our signals into a multi-factor model as an additional input to quantify the external risks that could affect their trading strategies. Geopolitical risks and economic events around the world are highly correlated to the stock market, as we all know, Predata provides our customers with a way to quantify that and integrate it into the model. As you mentioned, we do have the weekly forward, a newsletter that's free to subscribe to. So your audience is more than welcome to go to our website and subscribe to our newsletter, in which we highlight a couple of salient and interesting signals for the week to provide an example of what could be done within our platform. This week, we highlighted an interesting increase in attention around a stock market crash. We have seen a dramatic spike in the last few days in our signal that's measuring the online attention around the stock market crash. The last time we have seen this was in October 2018, when there was a major sell-off in U.S. and Asian stock markets. We also saw this earlier last year, just before the U.S. announced additional tariffs on China and affect the stock market. In addition to that, what's more interesting this time around is we were able to demonstrate and see within our S&P 500 sector signals an increased interest around defensive sectors, such as utilities, which implies that the online audiences, the investors are looking for safe havens, and there's additional research and interest in those defensive equity sectors.
Explain to everybody where you're seeing the increase in search. Is it social media, Google, all of the above? Like, how are you getting to the point where you're saying, look, we're seeing this large increase for people searching for market crashes?
Yeah, so within Predata, over the last 4 years, we have built a platform where we collect inputs, metadata, from tens of thousands of sources online. Ranging from single individual websites to social media to various sources. And what we do, unlike some of the other tools that are available, where they look for a keyword, NLP, or sentiment, what we're looking for at Predata is the research activity, what people are paying attention to online. So we are measuring the metadata, the levels of browsing patterns from these sources that have been organized into topics, into thousands of topics within our platform, covering everything from countries around the world to labor strikes to social unrest, security topics. Covering over 180 countries around the world. We are able to, with all that, we're able to give our customers a clear picture of where the attention is online, what people are scared of, what people are researching, leading up to the news picking up any major event about to surface in the world.
How does that look on your platform? What are the clients seeing when you give them? It sounds like a lot of information. How do you dial it down and say, look, this is specifically the points that we are highlighting here that we feel are important?
We have followed a very systematic methodology within our platform to generate these signals as well as organize them for our clients within dashboards and groups of signals that is directly associated to a tradable asset. So we have signals grouped into commodity assets, ranging from copper to oil to cotton to the various commodities, where we show under each one of these commodities signals that represent demand and supply concerns, signals that highlight countries that would affect the production or consumption of these asset classes. We have also extended this to FX, and most recently, we created a suite of signals covering all the major equity sectors. So we're able to take our methodology and apply it across countries, across areas and topics of interest, and then organize it by commodity, by FX, currency, and by equity sector to make it easier for our customers to identify the signals that is most relevant to their trading strategy.
For example, if I traded the hogs, and there's obviously a lot of stories going on right now with what's happening in the hog market and the corn market, I could just go onto your platform and say, what are you seeing in hogs?
So a good example of this, we have signals that are tracking hog diseases and concerns on swine disease and so on. More recently, this obviously has been in the news. More recently, early last month, on June 3rd, we identified a spike in interest around the hog diseases coming from both English and Asian languages that preceded a major movement in the market and affected companies like Tyson and WH Foods, where Tyson benefited from the swine epidemic that's happening, and WH Foods was affected by it. Now, prior to that, in May or late April, we saw a spike in interest around swine diseases. However, that interest came only from Asian language websites and sources. So there was an early indicator of something about to happen. However, English language websites did not pick this up until a month later, and that's when it started moving the markets. So within our signals, you would have had a very early indication that something is happening in Asia, and the major news outlets, the English news outlet, has not picked it up and therefore has not drastically moved the markets yet.
Hey everybody, I want to take a moment to thank one of our sponsors, FTSE Russell. They are a leading global provider of benchmarks, analytics, and data solutions. The Russell 2000 Index is a key benchmark for small cap U.S. stocks. Be sure to check out the E-mini Russell 2000 Index Futures, contract symbol RTY. For more information on FTSE Russell and their products, please visit FTSERussell.com. I'm so fascinated by this, and I'm curious, anything else right now maybe you could share with us, for an example, maybe on the stock side, equity side of things that has maybe come to your attention lately that you guys have been talking about in your weekly forward or to your clients?
Yeah, there's a recent example with the FANG stocks, where on June 3rd, the news of U.S. regulators, antitrust probes broke, and that affected the FANG stocks, losing over $130 billion in market cap. However, on June 4th, we sent out a notice to our customers highlighting that the interest level and the research that we are seeing into IT regulation is not similar to the last time this topic affected the FANG stocks, where in September 2018, when the White House drafted an antitrust order, and that in that particular case, the level of research was much higher. In addition of the level of research being higher and level of interest being much much more significant. The depth of the research was a lot deeper. In June of this year, we noticed that the research, the level of interest was on the surface. With that in mind, we sent a notice to our customers indicating that we do not believe the current news is going to fundamentally affect these stocks. And sure enough, the FANG stocks bounced shortly after that as a result of the investors and the major professionals shrugging off this news as noise. So this is a kind of another example where we can identify to our customers and quantify the level of concern online that tend to really provide them with a leading indicator whether the news is going to have a larger impact on this particular stock, or going to be just considered as noise and people will just forget about it and move on.
I'm curious of the range of clients that you have. Is this just for the bigger players, or can this be for the independent traders? It sounds to me as though that I could see how some of the bigger guys are using this, but I'm curious if some of the smaller players as well are using your product.
The Predata offering is a fairly newer offering for financial market participants. The early adopters of the Predata offering has been the larger players, the tier one hedge funds who can afford and can apply enough resources to integrate new data sources into their trading operation. What we have been doing and working on for the last 6 to 9 months is making our signals easier to consume by the individual traders and the less sophisticated firms who can take our platform and apply it into their trading strategies without having to invest large amounts of money in research or in technology to adapt it to their trading strategy. So we're seeing more adoption. We've had a lot of success initially with commodity and FX traders, and more recently we are having more success, and we're seeing a lot of interest from equity traders and the less sophisticated professionals.
Like I said, I love the weekly forwards, and I think that's a great starting point for any trader to go out there and just see the data before the data. I've definitely gotten some pretty interesting insight from those and saw over time how things played out. Can you give us just a little idea of all of the different services that you guys offer? Because I know there's so many different traders out there listening to this. Some are specifically just trading one market. Like even myself, I only trade S&P and 10-year. Do we have to get all of the services, or can we specifically maybe follow one market? Like how does all of that work?
Yeah, when you subscribe to our platform, you do get the full list of our signals. You can, and most of our customers do customize the platform to view the dashboards that are of interest to them. So if you're an ag trader, we do have a few dashboards that is specifically designed for you to help you with your trading decisions and strategies. If you are an oil trader or a nat gas trader, we do have a dashboard for you. We also have some of our signals available on the Bloomberg. You can go to the Bloomberg signal, Bloomberg terminal, and look them up. Those are the higher level country signals that give you insight into the level of attention a certain country is getting.
For the Bloomberg users out there, what would they have to specifically search to find you on there?
You can look us up by typing PVIX, and you will see a list of about 125 signals that is produced by Predata and available on the Bloomberg terminal.
Very cool. Great insight so far, Hazem, but we're not done yet. I have rapid fire questions next if you're ready for those.
Sure.
All right, everybody. Our rapid fire segment is sponsored by Trading Technologies. Access the global markets from virtually anywhere with TT. They are the world's fastest commercially available futures trading platform. And now you can trade cryptocurrency spot and derivative markets side by side. For more information, please visit tradingtechnologies.com. Hazem, first question for you. What is one attribute that you believe every trader should have?
So I have worked with hundreds of traders throughout my career, being a technologist and someone who's providing traders with software to access the market. The most successful traders I have seen are the ones who are disciplined. The traders that expose the most discipline in their approach have been the ones that were consistently profitable over a longer period of time.
Favorite book about trading?
The Big Short.
Favorite movie about trading?
Wolf of Wall Street.
What's the best piece of advice that you've received about trading?
Don't put all your eggs in one basket. Distribute your investment and risk across a larger portfolio.
If you could go back in time and give the younger you a piece of advice, what would it be?
Think long term.
Last question for today, Hazem. Favorite thing to do when you're not working?
Spending time with my family, my daughter. I try to do that as much as I can when I'm not busy building software or working with traders.
Hazem, where can people find Predata on Twitter? And give us a website to check out.
Our website is www.predata.com. You can find us at Twitter at Predata. And feel free to go on our website and subscribe to our weekly forwards. We send out an email every Tuesday morning highlighting a few interesting signals that we tend to share with the general public.
Hazem, this was a blast. Thank you so much for joining me on Futures Radio Show today.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for listening to Futures Radio Show. If you have any questions or comments for myself or my guests, please visit futuresradioshow.com and sign up to be a premium member for free. If you enjoyed the show, don't forget to leave us a review on iTunes.